Okay, this is eet114. We're going to go over the Canvas content. Let me share my screen again. All right, so here's the course content. This is what a typical page looks like. I can't show you the student view right now, but you guys will get the point. So under the module section, modules and home, at least in 114 is the same. So I have the syllabus posted, handwork expectations posted, which we already went over. Topics list, which is just every topic that we're going to cover um, that we actually cover in the book, which is basically kind of like a the glossary or the table of contents of the book. So it's just a kind of a handy dandy sheet that you have. And the next module here is the chapter videos. All right. So the first video link, I'm going to put all the videos in Excel unless I post them right to the email I send to you weekly. And I'm going to expect you to go into this Excel file. This is what this file looks like. This has a series of links in it, and it has the topic of the link right next to it. So this is the notes section of chapter 13, 1 through 4, and I cover my notes and explain them in detail through these sections, and I break them up. I try to make my videos pretty short. That first one I had this semester was long because there was just a lot of things we had to cover, but I try to break them up. You have the duration here, and you can see that, I mean, this one's only, 36 seconds. The longest one here is 5 minutes and 14 seconds. So, um, pretty short. So I go over my notes first each week, and then I do example problems, which I have the problem highlighted here in the solution next to it. But I go over how to, I explain how they arrived at their solutions and give you more detail in the video. I have all the solutions here of the example problems. So I did, in this chapter, I did problem number 2, then 6A and C, then 13A, and then over here I did 22, 30, and 33, and I put them all into this one video here. Actually, I'm sorry, I put 13A starting here, and then I put 22 and 30 in that video also. And then in this video here, I have problem number 33, 46, and 50. So I go through in detail how to go to do each one of those problems. I will assign you homework weekly. This homework will be due, I give you about a week to do it. So it'll be assigned this week and it'll be due next Tuesday. And let's see, what else do I need to show you here? Textbook chapters. I have all the chapters of the text, the notes, the text, and the problems are all, this is for chapter 13 and then 14, 15, so on, all the way up to chapter 26. I also have textbook PowerPoint starting at chapter 1, going all the way up to chapter 26. So that's good information to look at if you're stuck or if you need some pointers or a quick way to do things. The quizzes are going to be in this section that I give whenever we give them. And then the exam, same here. And then after the homework is done and closed out, I'll provide solutions in here for the homework. I'll provide quiz solutions in here. A schedule, we might not necessarily, that might not be posted, probably not. Miscellaneous information, I have determinants in here, formula sheets, powers of 10. I have a detailed solution back from chapter 8 in here. And then I also have AC circuit solving series and parallel with phasors, which we'll get into in the next few chapters. But I posted it now for your information. And then sample problems, I will post them as we start getting up into those chapters. I'll probably post some examples like that. The term paper, uh, in this one document, I have the assignment to describe it in detail, and then grading criteria and pitfalls to avoid. So if we look at that real quick, it's assigned as of now, and basically this is the date it's assigned. Your topic, you need to report your topic due to me by March 2nd, and the paper will actually be due on April 8th. And the criteria is that it has to be 1,000 words minimum. Cover page and reference section don't count. Do not pad the paper with useless banner to make it up to 1,000 words. Double spacing, font, 12 point. It's not real important. Margins 1 inch. The standard paper, 8.5 by 11. And the topic is anything related to electrical engineering you may be interested in. Circuits, processes, manufacturing, etc. It could be a device, um, but it has to be approved by me. This is a technical paper. Don't write it like you're talking to someone in casual conversation. Single topic, multiple topics not accepted. The topic needs to be approved by me. No duplicate topics. One proofread critique maximum by instructor allowed on the request of student. I highly recommend that you do that. Most students do not. It'll be graded and weighted as one exam and it will not be dropped. Each student does their own. This is not a group project. The cover page format similar to a formal lab. Everything to be in paragraph form like in the normal term paper. Um, any graphics, charts, graphs, or photos. Uh, it's really, it's if you need those to illustrate your point, that's fine. It's not required. I want electronic format in Microsoft Word. Microsoft Excel is also acceptable. I've done papers in either one. Um, you're not going to hand in a hard copy for this class, so the staple doesn't really matter. And then this is very important. All references must be noted throughout the paper. So use like a Wikipedia style notation where they put, see where I have highlighted that number 2, and then this is it's number 2, and it shows you the exact. You have a reference section listed at the very end of the paper that's required, and you need to reference throughout the paper where you get your information. And send me the electronic copy um, on the due date or before the due date. Submit in Canvas electronic format, Word doc preferred. So the guidelines I use to grade them are as follows. I'm not going to go through this. Is a lot to go through, but it tells you what I'm looking for, and I have a score of 1 to 5 that I give for uh, different different criterion, and that's how I get a score. And then I posted good examples and bad examples, things that I'm looking for, and things that I'm gonna knock the score down for. Flow and continuity important. Run a spell and grammar check. Proofread your paper. Okay, and then the pitfalls to avoid. Avoid use of pronouns like I, me, you, your, he, she, we, they, us, and them. Uh, avoid it. You can always rewrite a sentence without those in it. This is a technical paper. Forgetting to number the sources and distributing these numbers as reference throughout the paper. Again, very important. I'm going to be looking for that. Meaningful content that's less, having meaningful content that, uh, it should say more than 1,000 words. or again, avoid having meaningful content less than 1,000 words. So length is a requirement. Anything less will proportionately be taken off your score. So if you give me a 500 word paper, you're going to get a 50% right off the bat. You don't want to do that. Don't pad the content with useless words and phrases that push it over the 1,000 word mark. Avoid not proofreading the document. Read the entire document out loud to see if it sounds okay, doesn't contain run-on sentences. Usually, if you need to take more than one breath to read a sentence out loud, it's too long. Not running a spell and grammar check. Not writing the paper like a technical paper. Remember, this is a formal document, not a conversation between you and your buddy. Do not write the paper like you're talking to someone on the street. Don't avoid not organizing the paper in a way that flows well and gives enough depth. If you write the paper with enough depth, you won't have to worry about making the 1,000 word mark, believe me. Um, don't write a paper that barely makes the 1,000 word mark. Remember, the cover page and the resource page do not count towards that mark. Fluff words and phrases will be removed during grading, and it will be graded appropriately. Do not interlace opinion and not fact into papers. Keep the papers as factual as possible. It is permissible to insert opinion, but it should be clear that this is opinion and not fact. Better to keep all opinion together in one paragraph. Do not say something like my opinion is or I think. Say opinions on the subject are as follows, or most people think, or experts speculate or agree, or common theories are, things like that. So that's kind of it for the paper. So you have your assignment there, and I wouldn't work on it at the last minute. It would be highly beneficial if you started working on it bit by bit. 1,000 words is about 5 pages, 4 or 5 pages. And I have an example of a good term paper and one that's not so good in here, and they're both redacted. So, you won't know who wrote the paper, but it just gives you things to watch out for and things to avoid. And also, I put in the past, I've taken pictures of the board, and I have examples from different chapters of board photos that might give you some insight on um, things to look out for in different chapters. These chapters are all related to the content that we talked to before, and I just left them on there for posterity. So that's really it for the Canvas portion. Um, let's see, is there anything else I wanted to go over? I went over this with the videos and how to watch the videos. And oh, the homework. So when you get an assignment, which I've already given you one now, so you have this assignment here. When you do your handwork and you complete it and it's clear and legible and scanned and everything, this is where you're going to submit it. So this is the homework for Chapter 13 submissions. And then you also need to go into this H13 and take this quiz and put all your answers in. And it will give you a score. Homeworks, I allow unlimited attempts, and it'll only keep your highest score. So that's kind of it for the homework. And then for quizzes, again, I'll give you more details on the quiz, but it's kind of going to be like a homework. You have to submit your handwork for the quiz, and then you put your answers in, and it'll grade you. I'm only going to give you one attempt, and it's not going to tell you which ones you got right or wrong. It's just going to give you a score. And I may go in and hand grade it and make an adjustment to your score in Canvas. If I give you partial credit, your score might go up. It could also go down if you don't show handwork. So It's really important to show your handwork, and the same thing for exams. Um, I'm going to post exams in here, and you have to put in a submission and then take the exam in Canvas online. And again, I may go back and hand grade it and change your score accordingly. So I think that's kind of it for what I wanted to go over in Canvas. So if you guys have any questions, just email me, but I think that should be it.